What's up, nerds? Oh, needs to focus. Oh crap!
It's not that fast.
What's up, nerds? Tim here, and I'm with my co-host, Chris Batu.
What's up?
My brother-in-law. So, as the sign behind us suggests, we
actually drew.
We did. If you didn't see the intro, I don't know what you're doing. We are Nerd Plus, and this is our logo. Yeah. So, this is our second maiden voyage. The first video we did, it crashed on us. So this is our second take. It's
So there's always something.
There's always something going on with us, but that's okay. So, yeah. So we are
the second Titanic.
the second Titanic. We hit a really big iceberg. Anyways, yeah, we're Nerd Plus, and we are doing this because, oh gosh, we are Nerd Plus, and Nerd Plus means both of us are nerds with a passion, not just for, I guess, nerdy entertainment stuff like games, comics, anime, movies, and stuff like that. We are nerds with a passion for everyday life things. Hence the plus.
That is the plus.
That is the plus part. And yeah, we created this group to just, I guess, share with everybody, whoever's interested, our nerdy parts.
Our nerdy bits.
Our nerdy 8 bits.
Our nerdy bits.
Our nerdy 8 bits. Just for fun, and hopefully we can create some kind of community who shares the same, I guess, passion for, like I said, nerdy stuff, plus other things in life, like outdoor things like fishing, hiking, biking, snowboarding, which I just came back from today. You can see a clip here.
Wow, that was awesome!
Right? Yeah, it was.
Insert clip.
just to say really quickly, it was an awesome time today. Anyway, so that's the plus side. And if you are a nerd who loves other things besides the stereotypical nerdy video games, comic books, and stuff like that,
and we're sure you do.
And we're pretty sure if you're a nerd that you do like that stuff. But if you like other things too, that's why we're here. We're here to be an outlet for ourselves and for you.
Welcome to Nerd Plus.
And welcome to Nerd Plus. And just to touch base on the whole why we kind of created this group, we wanted to, I guess, not transcend the word nerd.
No, I mean,
not redefine it, but give it a better, I guess, a better name for itself. Because a lot of times people say nerds are, they stay inside their rooms all day. They don't do anything remotely productive towards society
or social,
they're totally introverted. I mean, we are introverted, but we wanted to just give a better perspective on that.
Right.
Because we, like we said, we're nerds with a passion for many other things. And, it could be whatever. So, yeah, and that's why we're here. That's why we created this group.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my dog.
That's Kiko.
Another thing we're very passionate about, by the way.
Our dogs.
Big dog lovers.
Yes, huge dog lovers. I have a dog. They have 2. And,
she's crying.
Yeah, so, yeah, and that's who we are. That's our short little introduction, our little champagne to the side of the boat thing. We're getting this kicked off.
And the send-off.
And speaking of kickoff, today's the Super Bowl.
It's happening right now.
I guess when you're watching this, the Super Bowl had happened, and it's halftime right now, so, yeah. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You could learn about us individually at our website at nerdplus.com.
There you go.
We have our own profiles. You can learn a little bit about us, like just who we are, a little bit of our personality and stuff like that. So definitely check that out.
Vowels are not allowed.
Yes, no vowels.
Ever.
That's why it's no E and no U. So if you like vowels, then you're not a nerd.
You should go somewhere else.
Yeah, just get out of here. Just kidding. No, come on. But yeah, so we're kicking off this maiden voyage video. I guess since I just came back from snowboarding, we'll talk a little bit about that. That is the plus side of our lives.
Yes.
But yeah, so
she's right here. Well, we like to call this show for now,
Yes.
the AT-AT show
The AT-AT show and
stands for All to Awesome Things.
when you told me about that the first time,
You-
I was like, no way.
Oh.
That is like perfect.
Oh, at first it was all to things.
All to things.
And I was like,
all to
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what? But it's almost like Star Wars.
Yes.
We could be AT-ATs or AT-ATs, whichever way you like to say it.
At. Yeah.
I don't know what's the real thing.
Mhm,
I grew up saying AT-AT,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever.
That could be argued.
So.
But yeah, because we are nerds, we love Star Wars. Why not?
We want to talk about all to awesome things.
All to awesome things.
And occasionally we will talk about non-awesome things.
Right, because
That'll be the AT&T show.
the AT&T show.
Because no awesome in there.
Just all to things.
All to things.
So we're gonna kick it off today talking about
How was your trip?
snowboarding. Today was amazing. It was like perfect conditions. It wasn't cold. It was actually kind of hot towards the day, like the middle of the day. But I went at I left at 8:30.
Yeah.
We got there at like
Where'd you go?
11. We went to Whitetail, which is in Mercersburg. Is it Mercersburg? Somewhere in Pennsylvania. It's an hour and a half away. If you ever go there, it's a good place to it's really close by if you're in the DMV area. And if you're ever there, and if I'm there, you see me, let's ride. I don't care what skill level you are. Doesn't matter. But yeah, today was awesome. I went with my friends Essen and Nelson. I've known them for a little bit. And they were just like, hey, you want to come with us? I was like,
Sure.
of course. Why not? And yeah, so today was great because we were like a no BS group. Like the three of us were just like, get there, shred as much as you can. Don't waste any time because we only did a 4-hour flex, which is one of the time limits that you can get there at Whitetail and pretty much anywhere around this area. And we were just like, go. We were on a mission. Just get it done.
As much time as
or not get it done, but like ride, really ride. Like do as much quality riding as you can. We did like 2 warm-ups and then we started going to blues and blacks and stuff like that.
Cool.
Just like totally cruising. And we hit the park today.
I was looking at the videos and I was about to ask.
It was pretty intense. Like I'm not a huge park rider. Like I just started riding park maybe last year.
Well,
and like really small features.
How long have you been boarding overall?
I've been boarding for 9 years total. 9 years as of this year.
Okay. So 07.
January, yeah, 07. And before, when you first learn, it's tough, but once you get the hang of it, you want to keep progressing.
Yeah. Yep. I feel that.
Yeah. So, but today, Nelson was like, you know what? Let's just work on like small things, small jumps, and if you want to do boxes or rails and stuff like that, just go ahead. Why not? But we did that, and I hit like jumps like the first few runs we did, it was kind of sloppy, and then I was like I bit my tongue. I was like, I have to get it. I have to do it now. And when you hit it, it's like you feel like you're just flying in the air, and you're just like, when am I gonna touch the ground? And then boom, and then you hit it, right? And then we recorded it, and when you see it, you're just like, it totally like
feels
just
so intense.
it emasculates you, and you're just like, great. Well, I felt like I went like 7 seconds in the air, but yeah, we were just doing like stuff like that to improve ourselves.
Yeah.
And like I said, we were a no BS group, and we were just like
That's
we
cool.
were killing it every time we went. And I recorded some stuff, and I'll probably post it on the YouTube page.
Love to see that.
I'll definitely be on my Facebook page, but I don't know if you heard all that yelling. But I don't know why it's halftime.
Could be the show.
Maybe the show's good. Coldplay's playing.
I think they're playing Speed too.
Oh, they are playing games. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it was
Not taking Speed.
it was a totally perfect day. I think to me,
Cool.
a perfect day is I just ride.
Yeah. Just get out there.
I just
ride.
want to go. But today this is the 4th time I've gone this year already, or this season this year, and this season, and it was the best run so far.
Nice.
Yep. Little known fact.
Still itching to get out.
Yeah, he needs to go. Little known fact about me: the most I've ever gone in one season was 2 years ago, and that was 12 times.
jealous.
Just think about the winters in the East Coast. They only last probably 3 months. Maybe
It's short.
Maybe pushes 4.
Yeah.
Late March.
The groundhog is nice
maybe,
too.
Yeah,
You get
right.
4.
But to put it into like a 3-month perspective, I went every weekend.
Which is so awesome.
But 1 week, I went like 3 times. Pretty crazy.
I haven't gone 12 times ever. Like in
total.
Yeah,
in total.
Since I started.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, injuries and whatever. I missed the whole season.
Mm-hmm. But we'll change that because we got him some sweet snowboarding boots for his birthday / Christmas because his birthday is really close. And
I can't wait to try them.
it
feels so good.
Yeah. Yes.
I gotta just plan a day.
You definitely just plan a day. Just plan any day, midweek, or
Just take a day off and go.
yeah, just take a day off and go,
Maybe
or
you can
go
actually do
weekend,
that. When you have a day off during the week,
which
can
I
just
might.
go.
So yeah, so we'll see. You'll see, and then you will get to see.
Yes.
You'll get to see.
Yes. You see my rook ass all falling all over the place. So the first on our first maiden voyage, we talked about what you would say to somebody who was
wanting to
get started.
Like, okay, right.
Yes.
So
and I thought that was really good.
yeah. So what I would suggest people who want to get started. First of all, you have to have the right attitude to get into it. You can't just look at people doing it and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool! I just want to do it because it looks cool."
Right.
Because you're gonna.
Well, that's always the initial draw.
And that is right, but then you have to have that kind of personality where you're very resilient, very patient with yourself, and you have a medium to high tolerance for pain. And not to discourage you even more, but you cannot avoid the pain.
I think almost anything physical kind of demands a little bit of that.
Oh yeah, true.
You know?
That's true. But snowboarding especially, because you can't help it when you're first going out, unless you're like Shaun White, who is a complete natural at it and is totally killing the snowboarding game, at least the super pipe. But first starting off, I would say have that enthusiasm, keep it, and just really be 110% committed to learning.
Learning.
And then when it comes to the learning part, like I said, you have to have that tolerance for pain. You can't be discouraged easily. You know, I mean, if you really are, and if you feel like it's really not for you, and you know your body, I don't know your body, and then whatever.
That might be kind of.
I can't say I know everyone's body, and you know their tolerance for whatever. But if you really want to just try it out, go for it. You have nothing really to lose except.
Yeah, and that was kind of the attitude that I took.
Right.
Because before I had ever gone, the first time I ever went was with you guys, with your family.
Right.
And we weren't married yet.
No.
Or were we? No,
you weren't even engaged yet. I'm pretty sure
really?
you weren't.
3 years.
Because I didn't go to school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is really early.
It's really early.
Okay, so imagine that. I'm not in the family yet, not engaged, and I've never done anything in the snow. These guys used to live in Alaska, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look like an idiot. First time you guys went was in the Alps, right? Or was it just Francis?
That was France.
Just France. Okay.
And she killed it.
Come on, right?
Which is crazy.
And they're like, you should come, and I'm like, okay, I've never skied. The only skateboarding I ever did was when I was like 5 or 6, and I would roll down the driveway on my belly. Right?
Oh yeah, woo! Yeah. You penguin it?
Yeah, I was doing a penguin. And I'm thinking, okay, I could either be afraid of this experience and not go because I'm probably gonna look like a douche out there, or I could just whatever and go and learn. And and you're right. I was like, I've really got nothing to lose but a lot to gain if I go and try this, because I really wanted to try it.
Right.
And then it was interesting because you and I actually weren't too close back then at all. And one of the first things you said was, you really just got to commit and go for it. And I was like, okay. Okay.
It doesn't sound very helpful, but you have to have that mentality.
Yeah.
The mental game is like 80%.
Because it's tough.
And the physical and technical stuff is 20%.
Learning it is really tough. Because it doesn't make it doesn't make a lot of sense at first physically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you're on the board, your feet are locked in, and you want to move your feet, kind of like when you want to turn
right.
or
You're just
move
like,
the board.
yeah,
you
especially when you're
pushing your
freaking
feet
out.
around.
Yeah, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, but you can't do
You
that.
shuffle.
But really, it's all up in
all
the waist
here.
and it's all in torso and stuff like that.
Your midsection and up.
Yeah,
Even to your head.
And it's hard to get the feel for that.
Right, because your body's not natural.
Yeah.
Or not naturally used to that.
Yeah, and you're a little scared. You know, when you're going down, and you want to stop or you want to break or catch an edge or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's unnatural to. Did she escape?
Maybe.
It's unnatural to lean back as far as you need to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, you kind of, and it's weird. You kind of stick your butt out first, and you're like, no, you don't do. You just lean.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just like
don't worry about it, just lean.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But a lot of that, it's really hard for all of that to really come together.
Right.
And the very first time I went, it didn't really come together. And then we went again, and there was a huge jump.
Right.
I was like,
right,
okay,
right.
it's starting to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying, I had to be committed to learning and to going back out there, even though the first time was as hard as it was.
Yeah. Right.
But totally worth it. I love it.
Totally worth it. Because so there's this thing about learning how to ski and then learning how to snowboard. Learning how to ski is easy to start off, but harder to master. I'm not sure exactly why, but I guess I could kind of get independent moving legs, which is kind of that freaks me out. Like I can't. I don't want my left leg to go this way, my right leg to go that way. But when it comes to snowboarding, it's harder to start off, but so easy to master. I seriously think the more you go, the better you get.
Yeah.
There's no way that you don't, unless you're just completely lazy and you're just completely inept. But every time I went, since the past 9 years, I kept getting better and better and better.
I've noticed the same thing.
Because your body remembers it.
Right.
And that's the thing. It puts a lot of stress on your body when you're learning. So your body's never going to forget it. I feel like. Yeah. I could be wrong, scientifically wrong, but I'm not a snowboard scientist, but
and you're a lot more comfortable too, with your understanding of it. So when I'm watching your videos now, or if I'm just daydreaming about going out there, it's I'm not afraid to go at a speed and just kick the board around and then, I want to be horizontal. I would love to get that low. Where before I'd be freaking out. It's no, I want to hit that so hard
you're gonna fall,
that I can actually touch the ground. And then recover from that and go the other way. So that would be something I would actually try to do.
Right.
Whereas before it's I had a good lean. It's I can get around.
Nice little cruising.
Yeah. And I felt comfortable enough to actually control it. So now it's sort of the next time I go, take some time to warm up, get used to it again, and then really start to push it to the next thing.
Right.
And then before that one time we were going and you're like, oh, I saw you try to butter. I was like, no, that was a mistake. That was a
happy
mistake.
Accident.
I was just leaning too far back on my one leg.
Accident.
But now I'd be I might want to just try a little bit on purpose.
Right.
And see how it goes.
And I feel like the thing with snowboarding is, even though you happen upon those accidents, you're oh,
it's okay,
that's what it's like. And then your body's, or your mind, when you're controlling your body, you try to mimic it again, and more often than not, you can get it.
Cool. Yeah.
Especially with carving. Once you feel, hey.
Oh, sorry about that. So my one dog is in her kennel right now. I don't know why she got all upset. Hey,
that was weird. Okay, but so especially with carving, I'll go back to carving, and right when you hit that first toe side carve, especially toe side, because toe side is probably the hardest thing to get once you start snowboarding, because it's totally unnatural. You're facing your back against the mountain. You can't see where you're going. But right when you hit that first edge, and you get it right where you're not completely slowing down, and you keep turning, and then you connect it again. Even if you fall after that, you're gonna be light bulb. Instant light bulb. I know how it is now.
And getting doing that, catching the edge, and then coming out of it, like being able to get your body out of that position,
right, and connect,
and ready for the next one.
It's the best feeling.
So you're just like lean.
Yeah, right.
But it's fine. You know, and
right.
you're like, okay, cool. I can totally read.
You don't have to look perfect doing it first. You just need to know how to control your edges, and when you feel comfortable enough to know how hard you have to dig your edge in for you to make that turn and then connect it again. Yeah. You are square. You are good to go.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then that's when you start pushing yourself more and more and more.
You get all kinds of weird things. The Wii U pad just turned itself on.
That's
and is showing us a Wario ad.
No.
Start 2016 with a fun new game or two.
Ooh.
It says Wario.
Well, all right. Anyways,
it's weird.
We got sidetracked by paranormal things.
Dogs going crazy. Wii U's turning on.
So, yeah. So if you want to start snowboarding, do it.
Do it. Give it a try.
You have to give it a try.
Let us know how it goes. And if you want, I mean, I'm fresh.
Yep.
He's still you can share those stories with me. But if you want to get a little bit of tips from someone that's gone, a little more than me,
just no park features. If it's just strictly riding, I got you.
Or if you want to teach us some stuff.
Oh yes.
If you want to give us some tips.
If you are like pretty semi-pro level, like being all serious, if you hit park features every time you go to a mountain and stuff like that, we need your help.
Share the love.
Share the love. Or even not even just to us, to everybody who wants to learn.
Speaking of that, so we touched on this the last time. It's like the community for boarding is really great.
Oh yes, yeah, right. I guess if we want to list reasons why you should learn snowboarding, that would be one of them, because the community. Okay. Usually, when you're starting out to learn something, you kind of feel discouraged because you don't know how to do it, and also when you see people who are really good at something, and you're not. You get so like internally discouraged, right? Yeah. Like you're your own worst critic. If there's another tip to wanting to learn how to snowboard is don't let everybody or anybody around you discourage you, because the snowboarding community is not like that 90% of the time. You'll always have people who or whatever, but the community with snowboarders is like so encouraging. Like they don't care if you eat snow, you totally bite it when you're trying to do something as simple as carving. They're not gonna laugh at you, they're gonna laugh with you, because that they began there. And every time I see somebody who just like wipes out, my first instinct is to think, oh my god, I used to be like that. And then you go,
I know those spots.
Like, oh man, are you okay? You instantly go from like laughing about it to you're concerned. And that's how a lot of snowboarders are that I've met. And have come across.
Oh yeah, I will say this. So same thing. I mean, I don't know a whole lot, but everyone that I did end up talking with has been great. If you're going out there for your first time and you're kind of getting exposed to all this, I'll tell you right now, a lot of them kind of look like douchebags.
Yeah.
And that's just the way they look.
Right.
Like the style of it and
right.
And when you're really confident on a board, you got a swagger and your boots kind of make you walk like that.
Right.
People don't look all that nice, especially when they're zooming past you and doing cool stuff or whatever, but they've been great so far, so don't be afraid to,
if you need help,
get out there and try some stuff.
Well, I guess if you're starting out, I guess we talked about this. This is the first point that I made is if you want to learn from a professional. Learn from an actual snowboard instructor at whatever mountain that you go to. It's totally worth it, because they will guide you in the right direction.
The fundamentals.
For the complete fundamental, like braking, all that stuff. And they're the most patient people ever. And I mean, sure, they get paid for it, but they love what they do. They love teaching people. And that's the thing about being a snowboarder. When you see noobs, you get so excited. Because you're like, you're going to be one of us. I can't wait. Unless, of course, they just totally fall off. And don't do it again after the first time. But then when you hear about people, especially friends who like started before or after you, and they get better and better, and they ride with you, oh, it's the greatest feeling.
That's awesome.
It's so good.
Well, that's another good thing you touched on last time was you would learn initially from an instructor to get the fundamentals the proper way, but then after that, you really want to start to kind of go out there and lean on your friends and learn from your friends, so that you're not out there trying and learning on your own,
right?
And you're not, once you have a fundamental understanding, you're not eating up an instructor's time anymore, because he or she's going to be working with other people all at once. So if you need more personal time, it's good to go with some friends that have some experience and can teach you how to use all the stuff that you learned.
Right. I would say probably
more dogs.
That's Milo. Probably a big thing is to go with friends. Like straight up, like the first time that you go, if you want to learn, get people who are new at it also, who you think is also interested in learning. Grab them, like, hey, I want to learn too. Even if it's just one other person, it's great to have somebody else there with you who is at the same level, and you won't feel as discouraged to learn. And even if you have friends who are intermediate or advanced, I would say go with them. I mean, they probably will leave you after like an hour of teaching you. You can't hold that against them.
Yeah,
you can't.
They want to go. They want to board too.
And your time is very limited, so that kind of forces you to be like, you know what? Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, you just got to go with them.
But of course,
continue on your own.
Go with encouraging friends. Go with encouraging people. Never go with people who are like, yeah, man, I want you to learn. Let's go. They just leave you. Or if they're teaching you, they get frustrated, like completely frustrated, like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go down. Yeah. Don't go with people like that. Those people suck. But yeah, probably one of the biggest pieces of advice is to go and learn with friends.
Awesome.
Yes.
Go try it out.
Try it out.
If you get hurt,
totally worth it. If you get hurt,
it's not our fault.
Yeah, don't blame us. Disclaimer.
Not our fault.
Nerd Plus is not responsible for people who get completely and utterly injured from learning snowboarding, because we encourage them.
You definitely do want to learn how to fall.
That's the first thing.
And the instructors should be teaching you that.
And they will.
They will teach you that.
Oh, yeah. Any person who teaches you.
A lot.
You have to learn how to fall.
A lot.
Oh, did you say a lot too?
Do it safely.
A lot.
Do it as safely as you can.
Yes. Oh! Another thing that I pointed out the first time we recorded this was go at your own pace. Never fall into peer pressure, especially from people who are better than you or more advanced than you and are like, yeah, let's go in the blue now. Like, no.
Not ready.
Sure, it will help you a little bit, but especially if you're not comfortable at all in braking, you are going to hurt yourself big time. And maybe if you don't wipe out, it's going to take you a long time to get down, and you're going to be putting so much stress on your body. By the time you get to the bottom of the mountain, you're going to be like, I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Snowboarding. Awesome. My complete and utter addiction.
Give it a try.
I'm pretty sure I'd be like the first one at an AA meeting if they had a snowboarding one. So,
SBA.
Yeah. SBA. Snowboard.
Small business. No.
Small business. But yeah.
Cool.
That is my plus side.
That's the plus side.
That is the plus side. Now let's go to the nerdy side.
The nerdy side of life.
The nerdy side of life. The entertaining, video gaming, comic book reading, anime watching side.
So let's catch people up, right? So, I mean, our friends probably know what we're into, but
video games
for the random person who happens to come across this video, let's give them a baseline.
Okay.
So what are we? Gaming, of course. Top.
The topic is gaming,
right? What are you into right now? What's your thing?
Right now, I am into. I guess I'm solely into. I guess lately, first-person shooters, but to name the biggest one that's come out this year is, or I guess last year, is Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is a soul sucker, and not in a bad way, like Destiny, and we'll probably talk about that some other time. But like I'm totally engrossed in it because I want to achieve certain things in the game. Like I feel like to me it's very rewarding because of what they have in the game that rewards you for completing challenges and stuff like that. And I love multiplayer games because I play with a lot of friends, and you'll probably get the theme. We like to do a lot of things with friends, and that's what makes it fun. But Black Ops 3, hats off, beanies off to Treyarch, because this game is awesome. Even the campaign mode, which is a 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
And campaign is awesome. The story is actually really, really, really cool. And the way they set it up now is really cool. It's almost like you're playing an RPG.
Oh, really?
Where you have you have missions to play. You beat them, and then you come back to your central hub.
Oh, nice.
And then you choose what to do next.
You get a world map.
You do, yeah. And,
cool.
Well, I guess kind of, but
sort of country map.
Mission map.
Terrorist map. Bad guy map.
You get to go into that central hub and outfit your person. You do challenges in there, and like you get to earn stuff and all. It's kind of like how Destiny set it up, where you do missions, you go back to the central place. Yeah. But Black Ops 3, the multiplayer is like the thing that's holding me down right now, because man, it's super, super addicting, especially when you complete challenges. So they have this thing where you earn player cards, and they're for like bragging rights and vanity and stuff like that. Whatever. I guess more bragging rights and not vanity. Nobody really like shows it off just to be like, ooh,
look how cool this is.
It's more of like, I got this.
Right.
I earned this.
Yeah.
And that, like, solely for me is enough to like play that game for hours and hours and hours.
Where are you now in that process?
Right. Okay. So Black Ops 3. I guess a lot of CODs not as of late, but they've been doing prestige modes, where you reach a certain level cap and you get to rank up to a different prestige level, which is also a bragging rights kind of thing. And right now I am on prestige 4, and it's maxed out so I can prestige to 5. But I'm waiting for a double XP weekend, because it's a serious grind.
So you could go to 5 and then go to 6 faster. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah. So and the max amount of prestige modes that Treyarch has for Black Ops 3 is 10. Or it's 10 and then Master Prestige, so I guess 11. And then after you get to Master Prestige, you get to do 1,000 more levels.
How do they count that?
What do you mean?
Is it like, how do you know after you've reached Master Prestige, what is the level system after that? What's it called?
It's just 1, 2,
just
3,
numbers.
4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all the way up to 1,000, and you get to choose like what emblem you want from previous Call of Duties.
Oh wow!
As your like Master Prestige 1,000 whatever representative. So it's pretty cool. That's really, really, really cool.
What's the hypes you've seen?
If you're talking about like hackers, 1,000.
No.
But if I'm talking about like legit people, probably only like 200.
Wow.
And this game has been out for 3 months. Yeah, 3 months now.
Almost? Yeah.
No, yeah, 3 months now.
3 months now.
3 months yesterday. And they didn't even introduce that until I think December.
Oh. So people were capped at Master?
Yeah, people were capped at Master until they introduced that. And yeah, it's a serious grind to complete challenges that you want to complete. And the artwork, whoever designed the player cards, you are amazing. Or I guess you group of people at Treyarch who created those player cards are phenomenal. Their creativity in making those player cards are like, it's so cool. I'm pretty sure they're amazing graphic artists and graphic designers. You want to get every single one, because you can see a preview of it.
Like a piece of it?
No, you get to see like the whole preview of
it,
it, and you get to see like what challenges you have to do to complete it. But you're just like, oh my god, I want that. Oh my god, I want that. And then you look at the challenges like, crap, I have to work really hard. Okay. And that's the thing. Although it's a very, very simple, straightforward game, to get to the like rewards that you want, you really, really have to work.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. Not just like killing 1,000 people. You have to kill people a certain way. You have to do it with this gun. You have to get these kill streaks. You have to do whatever.
Right.
And now that they've introduced wall running in the game, and like the short boosts of like a double jump kind of thing, there are rewards or challenges for that, and those are hard.
Really?
Those are really hard.
So,
but yeah, so Black Ops 3 is probably the one game that I'm completely stuck on right now. which is
You knew that.
speaking from like the previous. Speaking for like the previous Call of Duty, oh gosh, it was terrible. Advanced Warfare.
Oh,
It was just way too chaotic. It was fun to watch competitively, which I'm into. Me and my brothers and Chris sometimes
a little bit.
We are into the esports scene community, but that's a whole different story. But
Yeah.
for me right now, Black Ops 3 hands down.
Sweet.
What about you?
Well, I just finished, and I have been completely obsessed with The Witness. Love this game. I think it was just ingeniously designed.
Yes.
To be honest, and it's a game that, it's definitely not for everybody. Okay, so if you don't know anything about The Witness, it was created by Jonathan Blow and his team at Thekla Incorporated, the same guy who created Braid by himself. It's a game about puzzles, basically. When you start the game, you're on this mysterious island. You don't know anything about it. You don't know who you are, and all you know there are just little puzzles everywhere. And all the puzzles are all on grids. So you walk up to this little panel, and then a little grid is there. The objective is to. So the only objective is to draw a line from one end, or one of either of many possible starts to the end, right? Or one of many ends. But
the puzzle kind of looks like you're going through a maze.
Yes. Yeah. It's
right?
You're just drawing, kind of like
you're figuring out how to get out of this panel. Or I guess puzzle.
Yeah.
Like the puzzle looks like a
It really is a maze. It really is a maze.
Yeah.
But there, it starts off very basic, of course, but then you start encountering all these little things start popping up in it, like little symbols and little whatever, and then each one means something different. So as you're going through this island, you're learning what all these little symbols mean, and then you have to figure out how to do that, how to put them all together, and then solve the particular puzzle each time. So I think the best way to describe it is like you're actually learning a language, because each, and it's great. I loved that. I loved the intellectual challenge of it. I'm one of those people where it's like if I see something and I can't figure it out, I want to sit there and figure it out until try until I figure it out. If you're that kind of person, you should definitely try this game. If you like brain teasers, try this game. Or if you're just open to something kind of new, you should try
very
it.
challenging.
It's hard, yeah. So it's hard, and I mentioned I read a review and somebody was like, he gave it I think maybe a 7 out of 10, kind of a middling review, and he goes, one of the cons was he felt the game was condescending, and I was like, dude, I don't agree with that, at all, right? Because
I feel like he was missing the point of what the game was trying to do.
I think so.
Right?
I don't know, because to say it's condescending is like saying, all right, the puzzle is like laughing at you, right?
Right.
Like,
you're stupid.
It's so hard to say you can't figure this out, but that, like, the game gives you everything you need to solve every puzzle, right? So there are no instructions. It's not like it tells you what to do in any particular way, but it does teach you, right? It's not like it throws up all these random symbols and says, I'm not going to tell you what they mean, you figure it out on your own. It doesn't do that, right? There are places in the island that will teach you what every symbol means,
and what it can do,
how do you handle it, how you handle each one in a really good way, because you're coming up to a teaching point when you see like 5 or 6 panels lined up, and you're like, okay, I'm probably gonna learn.
Because each one is gonna be
progressive,
right?
So it's like, okay, I'm probably gonna learn something right here. So if you see the first one and it's really, really basic, you're like, okay, easy, right? So you can't really get it wrong, and then the next one, you could possibly get it wrong, but then you're in a teaching panel. If when you get it wrong, the symbols start to flash, because at that point it's indicating which symbol you did incorrectly. It's
like oh.
Yeah, so it's like you did something wrong, and you did it wrong, and this one is wrong. Like this particular symbol was not met, right? And so then it's like it's still hard, but then you get it, and then you knock out the next 3 panels maybe, and then they throw a curveball at you, and you're like.
Crap.
You're like, okay, everything I just learned about this seems to be wrong now, because they changed something, But again, it's just they're like, okay, we're challenging you a little bit more.
Right.
We're forcing you to think about it in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't ever feel like the game says you're too stupid to figure this out, because it's
right.
It's
or you don't feel like the game is like just putting a wrench into the gears because they think you're gonna be like, oh man, I'm stupid.
Yeah, no, it's never like that.
They're not doing it to discourage you. They're like you were talking about our last recording. They're doing it because they know you're smart enough, or intellectual enough to problem solve it.
Right.
Like they're like
you will figure it out.
Like what I said last time was, those puzzles are there and they're telling you can solve me. You just have to know how.
Yeah. You're just not coming at it the right way yet.
Right.
And that's the thing. So when you go into the island, it's completely open. You can go out and walk wherever you want. Mm-hmm. You know, but there are definitely like advantageous ways to go through the island so that you learn stuff
for like
correctly. Yeah, because if you just wander off to another part of the island and you walk up to a door and it's got this crazy puzzle on it,
you're not.
Okay, you might think it's laughing at you.
Right.
But it's not.
But it's not.
You're just not. You just haven't learned it yet.
Yeah, right.
You know? So you just went to a door that you're just not equipped yet to open it. That's all.
Right,
but there is stuff on the island that will teach you that.
Right. And you were saying before that these puzzles kind of speak to you like about yourself, or like it helps you be more introspective of yourself, right?
Well, the puzzle. Well, there's a couple.
Not the puzzles, like the game.
Yeah, the game itself. So you find. Oh yeah. Okay. So I was saying, I love the game itself, but then I just finished it before you got home. No, after you got home. Yeah, on Friday. Mm-hmm. And I was like, because I told you, I think I'm close. I was 2 puzzles away.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, I hope I'm not that close.
So I loved the whole experience up until
the
end. And then, like, when I finished it, I got, if you know The Witness and you played it and you understand the different ways to finish it, then I got like the most basic of endings. Mm-hmm. 'Cause, I mean, I know there was stuff that I missed, and I was aware of it. I was just kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna dig. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna dig that deeply as much as I love this. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna finish it. Mm-hmm. And then my initial feeling was like, that was really underwhelming.
Right.
The ending. Right. Mm-hmm. But then as we were talking about it, it kind of came to me. I was like, well, because when you go in there, you don't see the player that you are. You just see a shadow once in a while, depending on how you're standing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say anything about who it is or why you're there or what your backstory is or anything like that. And then I was saying, I think, because you find audio bits and you find some video bits and stuff, and it's like, it still doesn't say anything about why you're there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, and it's the ending that I got didn't give that to me either, and I think that's why I initially felt like,
great,
you know, like you didn't resolve this at all. But then as I was thinking about it, it's like, I actually think I was the person that I was playing. Mm-hmm. Right, you're kind of if that makes sense.
It's a projection of yourself.
It's you. Yeah, the island is actually talking to you, because a lot of all the audio stuff you hear, it's like, it's really deep thought stuff.
Right, like you're saying quote, like
really good quotes. I actually want to go and look it up online and see if anyone's captured all those, like what all the quotes were, because they're really, I've never heard a lot of them, and they're like really deep, very introspective, and very like just really thought provoking things. Right. And I think that's was really the point. Right. Was to put you out there, where it's basically you experiencing all these things, and they're throwing all these things at you about like thought provoking stuff, and it's just an experience for you to challenge your brain, and challenge the way you look at things, in the game itself and just in life in general.
Right. Then like what we were saying was, the puzzles are actually helping you with your thought process, not just in the game, but maybe out, your everyday life.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot, like the puzzle that we did that I got to try out, you really had to not really think out of the box, but you had to be very observant. Yeah. And you have to be observant in life. You can't just you can't walk up to life and be like, it's simple.
Yeah, it's just
not that. It's not that simple, but it's not so complicated where you're not gonna figure it out.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest things about it is like, so one of the things you cannot do, and you can try this in the beginning, is to just brute force a puzzle, right? Because they look really simple in the beginning, and you're like, okay, honestly, I can't figure this out right now. I can probably try every possible iteration and just get past it, right? Mm-hmm. You could do it in the beginning, but once you get a certain way along, there are so many possibilities for doing a puzzle. You're gonna screw yourself if you don't actually take the time to learn it, right?
Right.
So as you're progressing, there are always spots where you hit a puzzle and you're like, okay, I got this, and then it takes you a while. And you're staring at it and you're like, okay, I've tried everything that I can think of. I've approached it every way that I know from what I've experienced. You immediately, like, you reach the point where you're like, okay, I gotta step back.
Right?
Yeah, it's like I gotta step back, and then the thought that I would immediately get is, I'm looking at this the wrong way. You know, so then the question becomes, how else can I approach this?
Right.
And so I was the one example I had was I hit this portion where I was trying to figure out the maze, or trying to figure out the puzzle, and then it looked simple, right? I was like, I got this, and I mean, it didn't. The situation wasn't simple, but I was like,
but you thought
I
you
have
knew
enough
enough
experience to figure out what this island's trying to tell me for this one puzzle. But I tried everything I could think of, and I was like, okay, none of this is working, right? And then I was like, okay, I had to stop, and then I was going home, and I was thinking about it, and I was like going through it in my mind, like, okay, what other ways could I look at this puzzle? Still didn't come to me. And I got home, I was talking to your sister, it's my wife, and I said, man, you know, I'm really like, because I was just kind of like off thinking about it. And I was like, I got this puzzle, and I feel like I'm close to the end. And I was telling her the whole setup of the thing, and I was like, well, there's this thing that kind of looks like this, and then as I was talking her through it, I stopped, and I was like, working it through. I was like, I got it, right? And I wasn't even in the game, but I figured it out because I was essentially, you know, like typically you approach it and you're just like boom, and
straight up,
and your starting point is kind of like down here, and I was like, oh. I understand now.
You're like,
I had to turn it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
I was like, I was not looking at it.
In his mind, he took a 3D print of it and was just like, wait, how?
Yeah. Oh. So then when I did that, I was like, I understand. And then there were cues and hints in that section that made that evident.
Right.
But it didn't click to me yet until I stopped and kind of looked at it and thought, how else can I approach this?
Right.
And so now that's kind of like the way that I approach a lot of things, like at work, you know?
Right.
Here's a problem. It's like, okay, that's not working. How else can I do this?
Right.
Not working. How else can I do this? And like I immediately started working through different ways of seeing things, and that was the reason why I started writing the OPP post,
right?
Which isn't up yet, but maybe
You'll
by the time
it.
This goes up. But
yeah,
it's all about perspective. Right, and that's a huge thing for me personally, which you'll hear about in that post. But this game is all about perspective.
Just, you know, I guess paying attention to where you're going, and like when you get to a point, you can't just take everything at face value.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what we were saying last time, which is really, really cool. Like, and going back to how there's like a really kind of like bad stereotype with nerds because of like, and it will go into like the subcategory of gaming. Gaming always had a bad rep. Always does. No matter what, it'll have a bad rep.
Yeah.
But but with games like that, and there are a lot of games like The Witness.
Yeah, nowadays there are a lot.
Where it's very thought-provoking. It educates you in some kind of way, shape, or form. So if anybody ever tells you that video games are intrinsically evil or bad, no. They're wrong.
A waste of time.
They're wrong. and it's going to be people who are saying that because they're probably exposed to one genre of it, which is violent games. Or they just never played
exposed at all.
Yeah, never played a game in their life. And they, you know, they're very ignorant.
And this is a game. It's not for everyone, but it is something that everyone can do.
Right.
You know, like the premise is simple. get out of the maze.
Right.
You know, it
Go through the island.
so if people are watching you play it, all you have to do is explain. All they got to do is get from this dot to the exit, and then you tell them, okay, here are the rules based on what the symbols are, and then everyone can sit there and think through it.
Right.
You know, so it may not be everyone's game, but it's certainly approachable
Right.
by any audience.
It's not action packed.
Yeah, it's
But-
approachable and accessible.
Right.
So,
But I love games like that. I love puzzles. I'm not gonna be like I'm not like a master at puzzles.
I can't wait till you do it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to just sit there and watch you try.
Should I stream it? I should totally stream it.
Well,
Or if people want to play.
so you
people
can. But here's the
I know.
thing: like the only people that I recommend should be watching you are people that have done it, because you
Right,
you
that's
don't.
true. Because you want people who've done
Yeah,
it.
don't
What is he
watch,
gonna do?
If you haven't played it yet, do not watch anybody play it. Don't even look at pictures.
Don't
Like, don't do
get
anything
any
to spoil
hints.
it.
Because that's cheating.
You
That's cheating.
want to experience the learning process in this, because if you don't understand a symbol, it's gonna screw you at some point
Right.
in the game. But it would just be really fun to sit down and just watch someone go
who's-
through the same thinking process.
Right.
You know, so I can't wait for that.
Because I bet that even though the way you solve the puzzle was like, you know, like it did it for you, I bet there's like another way that you could solve it that
I'm
could
sure,
lead you
yeah.
to the very end of the
I'm
puzzle,
sure. I'm
which
sure.
is really cool. And I bet I would probably have a different thought process than you. And like I would see something and you're like, oh
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, I never.
Yeah, right.
Or if it just clicks for you, I'm like, dang, I feel like an idiot.
No, yeah, but that's not
it's-
the point.
But it would just be fun to watch.
Right.
Because it's like I've done it. I've gotten through the game. I did every puzzle, well, almost every puzzle that I encountered, without looking up anything.
Right.
So it's like,
Based on
I
your
earned
own-
it.
Yeah,
I can sit there and watch somebody and be like, this is awesome.
Right, and it's
'Cause I've
very
been through it,
rewarding.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It is extremely rewarding.
Right.
It can be intensely frustrating.
Right.
But when you finally figure it out, you feel like the biggest freaking genius
Right,
in the
right.
room, because you're like, yeah, you're like, I figured you out. You know?
Oh, you know what we should have done for this? We should have totally tied that in with learning how to snowboard.
Oh,
The plus and the nerd come together.
there you go. Nice little tie-in.
A nice little
See,
tie.
we planned this.
We did. We totally planned. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I can't wait to play.
Yeah, you got to play that game. I want to watch as much of that as I can. You should try. You should play it. It's $40 right now. It's totally worth the money, in my opinion.
He
Completely. I was obsessed. If people that play it are obsessed with it. You see these puzzles everywhere. But I think right now it's available only on PS4 and PC, if I'm not mistaken. I believe there are plans to get it on mobile, like iOS and Android. So
That
if
would
it
be
ever
amazing.
comes, and I played a lot of it on my phone.
Right,
You know?
because he can do that.
Yeah, because
It is
PS4
fun.
has remote play.
Yes.
But, so it's definitely playable on a mobile device. So if it ever comes around, you get the chance to play it. Play it.
Do it.
And then you can shoot me messages and tell me how frustrated you are at puzzles, and I'm just gonna sit there and laugh at you. But I'm gonna encourage you quietly and say you can
It's
do
more
this.
just like
I'm gonna say you can do this. You will figure it out. Trust
Yeah.
me. Just keep at it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need a break. Yeah.
And that's what
Sometimes
that
you just
helps.
need a break.
And that's
Yeah.
like what he said earlier. You know, you just take a step back
Yeah.
and then
You just got to get your brain off it for a while, because you feel like you have pounded out every possible approach, and then you go away from even a day and you come back and you're like, you nail it, because suddenly new perspective, and
Yes.
that's what it's all about.
It's about.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Play the witness.
Yes. Well,
There you go.
nice. Well, I think we're at a good point
Yes.
to end the video. Our first video and introduction of who we are and what we do. So that will be it, my fellow nerds. If you ever want other content, I guess we forgot to mention, we do have blog posts in our website.
Oh, yeah, we should say that again. In the first time we made some disclaimers
Oh yes.
about our content. We would love to do it regularly
Right.
and consistently.
We are.
Well, let's get real.
we
not
are
gonna
human. we live pretty busy lives, and especially if we want to make content for you guys, we have to do those things to have content.
We need plus lives.
We need plus lives
to talk about.
The nerd side. No, we're good.
That's easy.
That's always gonna happen. But like I said, we're gonna try to be consistent with our I guess uploads or whatever, especially with videos. Videos are very time consuming. It's already been an hour, and it's gonna take a little while to edit this, but just bear with us. I mean, we're not gonna promise anything. Like right here, right now, we're not gonna promise a video every day, every other day, every other 2 days,
every week, or
every other week. This is solely as I wouldn't want to say hobby, but just like something that we want to do as much as we can.
It's an outlet.
It's an outlet, right? That's a good word.
An outlet for us,
right? An outlet for us to
and
just mind dump.
We're gonna give you as much as we can.
Yes, and there are a lot of things to talk about, but you know. But like I said,
we're family. We see each other quite a bit.
A lot, very, very much.
And we've got the setup down. It's nice and compact and portable, so we might be able to squeeze in things here and there.
Hopefully, with not as many technical difficulties.
Yeah,
as yesterday.
Sort them out.
But,
no guarantees, but we'll definitely be working at it.
We will, and I guess the only thing that we can, guarantee is. We're just going to be completely honest with whatever we talk about.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is a mind dump for us, an outlet for us to just talk about things that we find interesting. Because there are a lot of interesting things. Like, we can't run out of things to talk about, but it's just for us to just get it out there and hopefully find people who feel the same way. Yeah. And if you don't feel the same way, that's cool too. You could totally, give us your own opinion about stuff that we talk about. But talk to us.
Yeah, it's not just about us.
Don't be shy. It's about you too.
So we want to learn about what you're into.
Yeah.
And one of the things we really wanted to do was, we're here to talk about what we love and what we're passionate about, to connect with some of you guys and build some of those relationships. But if there's something that you're into that we know nothing about, you can come on. If we can get together, you can talk and teach us and tell us and tell everybody else.
This is our icebreaker. We're gonna set that up. We are the first people to be like, hey, this is what we're talking about. We're in the room, but now we want other people to kind of be a little bit as vulnerable as us. But
there you go.
I guess this will be our icebreaker for now. So, but yeah, on our website, we don't just do videos, we do blog posts. Chris has written a lot already. I'm slacking. Slacking, but
no pressure.
No pressure. But yeah, but that's another thing. We don't want this to be. We don't want this to feel like a job or a chore. Like we have to put content out. That's like not what we want to do. We want to just put out stuff that we feel like is interesting enough for people to hear and engage with.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, so we have our website that has a tab for all things nerdy, like entertaining stuff, and then the plus, which is everything
else,
every other thing about life. It could be activities, it could be life experiences, it could be anything else besides the entertaining side of being a nerd. This is the nerd entertainment, and this is the nerd life stuff, like snowboarding and fishing and stuff like that. So
we also I also like to keep my I kind of cycle through SoundCloud playlist every month.
Yes, we love music.
On my about page. So whatever I'm feeling that month, I'll create a little playlist for it on SoundCloud. Then it's embedded in the about page for me, and then we're gonna stick one up for Tim too.
Yep.
We're
totally public.
We're music
lovers.
So
we just love music.
Things will
good
rotate
music.
through there.
We love
so
good
you check
music.
it out.
Yeah.
Let us know what you like.
Yeah, and that shows a little bit of our personality as well, I think. The music that we like. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. We will end it there. This will be our tentative outro, so see you later, nerds!